Hi, welcome to how to create your LNC and expert witness graphs, timelines, calendars, and we're even going to go over how to format different types of chronologies. And these are skills that both the LNC and the expert witness need to know how to do. And this is the third class in my report writing series, because the first workshop related to report writing, we did case deep dives where we analyzed all the elements of negligence and looked at cases that really illustrate each of the elements in a cause of action for negligence. And then our second workshop was writing your reports, and we had 7 different reports that we looked at. So that was a very informational class. It was 55 pages of handouts with the material. And that workshop is on my website, as are all the workshops. And you can review and the recording at any time. That's part of what we give you with these workshops, so it can aid you in writing. So today's going to be more about what exhibits can I attach to my reports? How can I illustrate my opinions if I'm an expert witness and explain these things to a jury? Because ultimately, that's what the attorney is focused on. We need to get the expert opinions that are going to enable us to explain this to a jury and prevail at trial. Most of you know who I am, but I'm Nurse Attorney Laurie Elston. And as I said, this is all about how to create and format your chronologies, graphs, timelines, and other visual aids that we as attorneys use and are absolutely vital when we get to the trial. And you can make yourself more desirable as an LNC, more in demand, if you have some of these skills. So today's going to be part IT, where we're going to go over how to set up your chronologies for different information. And it's going to be part content. So what to put in your chronologies that will wow your attorney clients, because you want to stand out from the group of LNCs that are out there, and you want to get repeat business because you have provided something to the attorney that they think made a big difference in their ability to win the case. And that's going to get you repeat business. So the topics specifically that I've developed for today are, first of all, talk about demonstrative evidence, what it is, and why attorneys find it so important. Then I'll go through the different types of graphics that attorneys use. Part of this is so you will have some familiarity with the terminology, because you need to be able to speak the attorney's language. And that means you have to know, when I say demonstrative evidence, what that might mean, some idea. And I will talk about and explain how to create a table or in Word or a spreadsheet in Excel to create your medical chronology. And some of you may have some of those tech skills, others may not. So I'm going to try and teach you very basic level, because I think even simple graphs can be so helpful. And I'm going to include today, as you will see, an Excel expert's video on the steps for doing this. And I've also put the steps in your written materials, so you can go back to either one of those sources. And I will give you some pointers as to what to include in those, and specifically how they can help you analyze the elements of the negligence action. I will also show you briefly how to use a calendar, and I'm going to share with you a calendar that I worked on when I testified as an expert witness last fall in a wound care. case that ended up, unfortunately, with this elderly gentleman developing a stage 4 wound in the hospital. He'd been admitted with a stroke and had no skin breakdown whatsoever. And so this all occurred during his hospitalization and ultimately became infected. And then he got sepsis and he died. So a very sad story, but you will see that the timelines and the calendars that we used as exhibits really are powerful in conveying information to the jury, and is part of the reason that the jury wanted to uh, award punitive damages, although there was a settlement in the middle of the jury deliberations, so we don't know exactly. So we'll go through line graphs, which is what Excel refers to them as. I've even put in your materials a little bit about how to put a timeline in your PowerPoint slides. I think that's handy. Some LNCs like to go into law firms and give them a little PowerPoint program on some nursing issue as part of their marketing. So in every workshop, I always throw in a few marketing tips, because that's a challenging area in terms of it's not straightforward. There's so many different ways to go about marketing. And that is why I've got 2 workshops coming up in June and July just on marketing. And you can look at the topics on my website, nursinglawcenter.com. And in terms of the examples that I've attached, they start at page 20, and I've put in some different formats for chronologies, some tables for that may be helpful, a whole bunch of graphs that show vital signs, O2 sat levels, PTT times, different aspects of real cases. All of these are from actual cases, and we'll show you how pivotal these graphs can be in helping the expert explain their opinions, and again, in helping the attorney win their case. And these graphs are used whether you're doing med mal or personal injury, doesn't matter. And I'm going to be going over a lot more examples through the workshop today. I've only attached some of them to your handout. So let's get started. This is a very visual workshop today. For those of you who don't know me, I was a registered nurse for almost 7 years in a large acute care medical center. I was a charge nurse for years, and then I became an attorney, and I graduated cum laude from law school, and I've been practicing now as an attorney for over 30 years. About the first decade I did in Seattle as a medical malpractice defense attorney, and I've been practicing in California for about 25 years. And throughout my career, I have always enjoyed teaching, and have been teaching nurses throughout my legal career. So this workshop is just an example of that.